John O'Connor from Nirvana Tribute, and we're coming back to Australia, but also visiting New Zealand this run. So we're coming on Friday, the 26th of July. We're coming to Tauranga, to Torres Street. The 29th, we're in Auckland and Galatos. 31st of July, we're in Newcastle in Australia at King Street. The 1st, we're in August in Sydney at Manning Bar. The 2nd of August, we're in Melbourne at the Espy. 3rd of August, we're in Hobart at Unibar. 7th of August, we're in Geelong at Barwon Club. The 9th of August on the Gold Coast at Coolangatta Hotel. And the 10th of August in Brisbane at Princess Theatre.
You did really well there, mate. You did really well until you got to Geelong. It's Geelong. You did really well.
Okay. Look, I've even got a cheat sheet right here.
We couldn't tell that you were in it. How are you, brother? Good to talk to you again.
I'm doing very well. How are you? It's a pleasure.
Very well, brother. Very well. I'm off to Japan in a couple of days, actually. So I'm trying to cram as much in as before I go. But I'll be back in time for your show, which is a good thing.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you there, man.
Yeah, it'd be good to catch up again, bro. It'd be good. Now, this trip, it might be your first time in New Zealand, but it's your 4th time coming to Australia, mate. Like, what is it about the place? Like, you must have a decent demand here to keep coming back.
Yeah. I mean, like, the people seem to like us there. So, I mean, we'll always go back. We'll always go back. And we love it as well. You know, I think my first visit to Australia, I was just completely blown away. So. And just the hospitality of the people and stuff there as well, man. So you can't beat it.
And like as a tribute band, it's got to be good too, because Australians are honest as fuck. Like if you were shit, they would have told you the first time you came out that you were shit. But the fact they keep coming to the shows, that's probably the best endorsement you could ever get.
Yes, yeah, I think so. I think we would have known that that they weren't happy, but no, they made us feel right at home on that very first trip. So I'm sure the 4th one will be just the same.
Wait, and you're visiting New Zealand for the very first time, mate. So for the benefit of people over there, what can they expect from the show? You know, like there's so many acts getting around that are very average that it takes the gloss off the ones that are good. So, but tell them what to expect from you guys, because you are fucking good.
That's what we're noticing at the moment. Like there's sort of an oversaturation almost of the market with like kind of substandard Nirvana tribute bands and stuff like that. But I mean, this is the one to come and see. You know, this is the one to come and see if you want to see some like a genuine Nirvana performance and go home feeling like you'd been at a Nirvana show. This is the one that you need to see. Plus, we bring a little bit of chaos with us as well. So
that always helps, doesn't it?
Always, right?
Always. And you're also going to be headlining the Louder Than Love run of shows, which features our very own the Pearl Jam Experience, plus a tribute to Soundgarden and Alice in Chains. Like, have you played with any of those guys before?
I actually haven't, but I'm really looking forward to it. I've been watching their videos and stuff, and like it's amazing. It's going to be great to share the stage with these guys. You know, I think it's like what a great opportunity for people as well to come out and, you know, you get the classics, all of these classic bands all on like one night. I mean, you couldn't really ask for more as a grunge fan or as a music fan in general. I think like what more could you ask for? Really, like. Yeah. You get the big 4, as they say.
The big 4 of grunge.
The big 4 of grunge, man. Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot of grunge for one day, though, bro. Like it's sort of grunge is starting to come back. I reckon. Like, is that something? Because you travel the world doing this, so can you see that around the world that the groundswell's coming back up again?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like the one thing I always say that I love to see, and I notice it all the time, is like you see these generations, like of a family. So you'll see like a young kid and he'll be with his dad, but he's with his dad, you know, so you've got like the 3 generations there, which is like a fantastic thing. And it seems to just that's building more momentum now. I mean, everywhere you go, you see a Nirvana t-shirt, like on young, old, and like it you know, it's amazing. So I think, yeah, it's like even gaining more momentum. It's like the little train that could and it'll never die kind of thing, you know?
Very good analogy.
Think about where Nirvana came from, dude. I mean, Nirvana came from like sweaty gymnasiums with nobody there, you know, playing to a handful of people to playing like some of the largest auditoriums in the world with people clamoring to get into these sold out shows. So, you know what I mean? Like the momentum that Nirvana built. And then with Kurt's passing, it only seemed to strengthen it. You know, he became almost like this
demigod,
mythic character. Yeah, totally, man. And it's like that. And people do understand I think like it's not, they're not worshiping this guy like in an odd way. They understand that like out of all the people we've had over the last 30, 40 years, he was like one of the most genuine, you
Yeah.
know, and he had a good heart, and he had good things to say. He had a good message to deliver. And I think that message is still finding its way to like the generations that are coming up now today.
Yeah. I was going to ask you a bit more about Kurt later on, but since you brought it up, we'll skip to that bit now. But like, you sort of touched on it, but what, like, they didn't put out a heap of albums. You know, they weren't massively famous for a long time, but then they were. Like, what is it about their music you think that firstly struck a chord in the first place, but now like a lot of it's because Kurt's gone, people sort of love the nostalgia, but there's still something about the music that makes it connect that very few bands have ever managed to do before. Like, what do you think it is?
I think it's that sort of raw energy, but there's like I don't know, there's like in songs like Something in the Way and that there you can hear that the man's soul is kind of in that song, or you know what I mean? You like there's something quite kind of captivating about Kurt's voice,
Yeah,
and about Kurt's presence. His way of writing, like it drew a lot of people in and stuff. So I mean, you could say a lot, right? It's the soft, heavy kind of thing. People like that, and the pop punky kind of like melodies and stuff like that. But I think kind of like most people are drawn to, even if you don't understand the lyrics. Like I mean, there's people that follow us and follow like from Malaysia and places like that, and Indonesia. And like I've had like some of those people reach out to us and they don't understand some of the lyrics and stuff like that either, but they're drawn in by Kurt's presence. Like his soul is almost worn on the outside. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's a
And
good
I
way to
think
put it.
people kind of see that. You can see you can see somebody's genuine character. You know if somebody's real or not. It's like why we looked at like people like John Lennon in the same way. You know what I mean? And you can tell when somebody wears their kind of soul almost as like a suit of armor. So
Very
yeah.
cool. Well, this one's going to put you on the spot, bro. I'm sorry, but what resonates more with you personally, the man or the music?
That's a good question. I think the man, because like his views and his morals and stuff like that are something that a lot of people could learn from. Having respect for women, and treating people fairly and don't look down on others, kind of thing. And never really be above your station. Kind of never realize kind of everybody is the same, dude. It doesn't make a difference if you got £1 million in the bank or $1 million in the bank or whatever. And, you're no different from the guy that's like begging for change down the street. I think Kurt kind of realized that as well. Like that's why he shopped out at thrift stores, and he wouldn't buy a brand new car. He drove a beat up old 4x4 right up until his last days. It's like, you just, yeah, he had good morals. He was a good man, a good human being. And I think yeah, a lot of people can learn from that, especially in today's day and age.
Oh, tell me about it. Hey, you've been doing this for a number of years now, bro, and you pretty much live and breathe Kurt when you're out doing your shows. So as you do it for longer, does it become harder to disassociate yourself from that persona off stage?
No, not really. I mean, look, people are really surprised normally when they meet me, right? And they don't like, I don't mean meet me after the show when I've gotten off stage or taken a picture or signing things or whatever. I mean, like if somebody sees me on the street, right, and they're like, "Oh, we're coming to the show later," they're meeting like me in a suit. I'm 90% of the time I wear a suit, and I look like a totally different guy,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And like, yeah, I have yeah, I don't live my life as Kurt Cobain. You know what I mean? I don't do the things he used to do. I have no desire to do that. Like I'm fortunate doing what I do, and
Yeah,
trust me, that doesn't escape me. And when I'm standing in places where I know he stood, and on stages and places where I know he's been, that doesn't escape me either. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I relish every single moment of that. But no, me and him are two completely different people, and I do hope people understand that when I go on stage, I kind of shut the door on John O'Connor for an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes. And I try to portray like everything about that man on the stage that meant something to me. And I try to deliver a performance that makes people that watch it think like, I want them to feel like they're kind of there. I want them to feel for that hour and a half like a suspension of belief, kind of like a pro wrestling thing. You got to suspend your belief for that hour and a half. But if you do and you come on that ride with us, man, it can be special, and I've seen some special reactions out of people. So, yeah.
I bet. Now, Bryn, the press release says that you guys meticulously recreate every element of a Nirvana performance. Like, run us through what that entails. Like, do you watch videos and study them? Do you listen to music? Like, how do you recreate it? Is it just a feel thing?
It is now, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I grew up like we've had this conversation before. I grew up with Nirvana as a kid, and I felt like it helped me so much in my life. It really did. I like that band and Kurt. Just like I really did. It hit at just the right time in my life where I needed it the most. And at that time, I was engrossed. And you can imagine, I was watching everything. We were tape trading because we had no internet back then, man. You remember. Right, so we're tape trading and we're trying to get like a view of them any way we can. Magazines, every performance they did on TV or whatever, trying to get like whatever bootleg stuff we could. And it just sort of embedded itself, I guess. Like his movements and the way he would act on stage, and he was so free with himself and stuff like that as well. So I think it just ingrained itself in me, embedded itself in me, so that I just allow all of that like muscle memory to kind of spill out when I walk onto stage. So yeah, I suffer for it afterwards though.
I bet you do, mate. You put a lot into it.
yeah, I do, especially at the age I've hit now, so.
Have you still got the same band as what you came out with last time?
No, I've got completely different guys with me. Yeah, I've got two great guys with me now. I've got Ed and Brad with me, and they're both like powerhouses, man. And they're both such nice guys as well. And like, so the guys that were with me the last time have gone off to do their own thing. Mayano, he moved back to Spain, bought a little apartment for himself out there.
Oh, good on him.
And he's putting the band out there now full time, and he's having a great life. And I couldn't be happy for the guy. He's like, I wish him all the best. Love that guy. And the same with Ali. Love him too. He was my best man at my wedding, for God's sake.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
We haven't got to see each other in a while as well, but we will. We'll still link up and we'll always be like the best, like, with each other. So, but Ali is doing, is it the Copycat Killers? Yeah, he's doing that and a couple of other things now. So he's still in the tribute world, but he's ventured into pop and stuff like that now. So, but wish them all the best. But yeah, the two guys now, Ed and Brad, they're solid guys, and they really deliver a performance on stage. Like Brad's drumming has to be kind of seen to be believed, really. So like, yeah, the guy's an animal, literally.
Well, that's enough for me. Very good. All right, John. Well, thanks for your time, bro. Always a pleasure speaking with you, mate. The Nirvana Tribute Band, the tour in New Zealand starts on the 26th of July. There's 2 shows there. Then it's over to Australia to hit pretty much everywhere. So where can people find out more about the tour and get tickets?
You can go to nirvanatribute.net or go to octoberpresents.com, and you'll get all your tickets and information there. And just keep an eye on our page as well on Nirvana Tribute on Facebook, and you'll get all your info.